Hello and welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Gene Edwards. You are watching Lubed for February the 26th, 2022. As I am going to do a preview of the Boston Bruins Edmonton Oilers matchup tomorrow night at the Rogers Place in Edmonton, Alberta. The Edmonton Oilers playing the best team in the National Hockey League, the high favorite to win this year's Stanley Cup. Before I dive into that, though, I do want to just touch base on a re-release that I did last night. So I've been doing this channel now, well, Lube officially became a channel on March 15th, but prior to that, I was doing a weekly video called Oilers This Week. And at that point in time, that's where I was just getting my feet wet into the YouTube thing. At that time, I did like whatever games were in that week. I did the previews for all of them, made the videos about half an hour, and I only did one video a week. And then I just said, it's kind of old news. I don't think I'm getting the viewers that I think it's going to be hard to get viewers, and then that's where I jumped into Lube, and I'm kind of doing them on like nightly and basically every day a video. So I decided to watch this one that I did from last year at this time, and there was a section in there that I narrated this little narration called I Bleed Orange and Blue. And when I watched it again, I was like pretty impressed with myself that I was able to pull that together last time this year. So I re-released it again, give it a watch. The numbers obviously for the Winter Classic and that has gone up because that video is now a year old, so ignore my numbers on what I say, how many Winter Classics and that was. It's obviously changed. I don't know what the number is now. But keep in mind, it was a year ago that I did that video. So check it out anyway. Okay. Let's get into tomorrow's game. Oh, actually, before we get into that, here is basically... this is basically the standings, but this isn't conference. This is league standings. Okay, so it has Boston at the top with 95 points, I believe it is. Yeah, 95. And then it has, yes, the Columbus Blue Jackets, the team that the Edmonton Oilers lost to yesterday, and the bottom. This is who the Edmonton Oilers will face in the next 22 games. Yellow represents that they will face them once. Green represents that they'll face them twice. And the only blue one, which is San Jose, they'll face 3 times. So as you can see, there's a lot of games on the upper tier of that playoff cut line, which is Calgary is just sitting above it. Pittsburgh is now below it. And if you take also a good note, there is about, I think it's 8 that are 4-point games. Huge, massive stretch, massive implications. This is it. This is the stretch run. This is the do or die situation for the Edmonton Oilers if they want to make the playoffs this year. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough go. Those games that they should have won might come back and haunt them. I'm telling you, I hope it doesn't, but I look at this schedule, and it's going to be a tough go for the next 22 games. Anyway, I do have faith in my boys, but I just don't think I have faith in them tomorrow night. Sorry, guys. They take on the Boston Bruins with a record of 45 wins, 8 losses, and 5 overtime losses. 95 points. First in the league. Not to mention this team just bolstered up their D by getting Orlov and getting Hathaway. So this team is strong. And I'm basically saying right now, this is the likely team to win this year's Stanley Cup. I'm not gonna call them saying yes, they are gonna win the Stanley Cup this year. But this is the team that I am stating right now has the best chances. 100%. That Eastern Conference is going to be a mess. Toronto, Tampa, Boston. Some real tough sledging going on into that. The Edmonton Oilers will be with a record of 32, 20, and 8 for 72 points. They are currently 3rd in the Pacific. That should change by the end of the night as Seattle is playing. And we'll see what happens there. Okay, let's go on to the line combinations. And I'm going to just also bring up one more thing here. So we will bring up the news and notes. I should have brought that up earlier, but here's your latest news and notes. I don't have too much based on the Oilers, just the Klim Kostin. Other than that, it's basically other trades and other news that's going around the league. But for the Edmonton Oilers tomorrow night, they got Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Connor McDavid, and Kyle Yamamoto registered on the first line. Klim Kostin sounds like he's going to be back with Leon Draisaitl and Zach Hyman on the second line. Warren Fogle, Ryan McLeod, Matthias Janmark on the third line. Devin Shore, Derek Ryan, and Jesse Puljujarvi on the fourth line. Your defensive pairings are Nurse, CC, Brett Kulik, and Tyson Barrie, Broberg, and Evan Bouchard. I really wish they would mix up that D pairing a little bit, but unfortunately they do not, and it is what it is. Okay. So when it comes to the head-to-head matchup, there's a lot of very similar comparisons when I look at this chart. When it comes to goals, Oilers are number 1, Boston number 2. When it comes to shots on goal, Oilers are 6, Boston is 8th in the league. When it comes to the power play, Oilers are 1st, Boston is 7th. So a lot of similarities. However, when it comes to the defensive aspect of things, that's where Boston really, I think, has an edge. Actually, let's take a look here. 8th. Shots on goal allowed, they're 8th at averaging 29.4, so Edmonton is 19th. Goals allowed, number 1 in the league for allowing the least amount of goals at only 2.9. The Edmonton Oilers are at 3.28, so that's a huge stat. They do have Skinner scheduled to play tomorrow, and I'm kind of hoping they do, because I think Jack Campbell needs to go back to the drawing board and get some more work in with the goalie coach there and try to figure out what he's doing wrong. Like what, and maybe he needs to go into a mind coach and work on his confidence. I don't know. There's something not right with Jack Campbell. I really don't think he is as bad as he is playing to be. I just think he's fighting it, and he's really struggling with it. So they need to get him all the help in the world that they can. Anyway, they got Linus Ullmark for the Boston Bruins, 34. So a record with 34-1, a 186 goals against average. That's crazy. And a .938 save percentage, 2 shutouts. Skinner has a record of 15, 12, and 4 with a 2.90 goals against average and a .912 save percentage. Look at that, a full percent or a full 1 point difference when it comes to the goals against average. That is ridiculous. Boston is a beast. They are the league's juggernaut, 100%. The Oilers are going in on this with the 1-game loss to the Blue Jackets after playing in a great game against Pittsburgh, and I gave them high praise for that, and then I don't know. For the home and away records, Boston is coming in with a away record of 21-6-2. The Edmonton Oilers are coming in with their home record of 14-11-6. The last 10, Boston are 7-2-1. Meanwhile, the Oilers are 4-2-4. This is going to be a tough one, and this is the first of 2. They play Toronto a couple times. They play Winnipeg a couple times. So they got their plate full in the next 22, the final 22 games of this season. Yeah, I'd like to say good things, but I don't know. I'm concerned. I'm concerned as a fan. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. As the ticker is stating there, right at the bottom there, if you have any comments or questions or anything that you think I feel on, or give me your thoughts on, am I being too hard on Jack Campbell? I don't know. Feel free to give me your thoughts. Feel free to give me your potential trade proposals, and if I find them very intriguing enough, I just may throw them on this channel. Other than that, if you're new to this channel, feel free to hit like, share, and subscribe if you like the content that I bring you. And to the rest of you guys, stay healthy, stay happy, stay hydrated. We will see you after the Boston Bruins game tomorrow night. You have a good night.
Don't wanna sleep in, cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move. I think of you and all the shit you don't do. Well, I'ma make hella sure that I don't become you. I have no regrets, yeah, I'll tie up my chest. I'll never forget what it's like to be in debt. Been